and see me okay. You thought it was over. It's not over. We are back. And thanks for sticking with us during this time. Like I'm seeing some interesting things here. But anyways, I want to say thank you for joining us. And you're watching Remote Producer Live. For those of you that have not, if you have tuned in earlier, then you've heard the first half of what we're talking about. We're talking about understanding your client's business objectives and helping you to get into the mind of your client so that you can tailor your marketing messages to them, so that you can help your clients feel understood in this process of, building a live stream broadcast, whether it's for a conference or a summit, whether it's for their, online TV show, like whatever it is, it's your job to understand them. It's your job to understand what they're looking for in the way of metrics and results and things like that. And so today we're kind of giving you a little bit of a cheat sheet and helping you to understand exactly what it is that your clients are looking for so that you can speak to those things, and giving you tips on each one of those things to really consult your client about how what you're doing as a remote producer is going to help them grow further, faster in 2021. Okay. So just really quickly, make sure that you guys can hear me and see me okay. I'm seeing a little bit of a hesitation here in the stream. So y'all go ahead and give me some feedback in the comments area here, okay? That you can see me okay. Mm-hmm. All right. All right, thanks for joining. Okay. Y'all bear with me here. I'm going to try something really quickly because I see like a little bit of a hesitation here. I'm not for sure what, but just hang on, okay? Let's see if we can adjust really quickly. I know that did a little bit of different coloring on it, but at least we're clear for right now. So I'm going to kind of go with that for now. All right. All right. So let's kind of continue down the list of that we're talking about. So we're talking about what it is that your clients are looking for. And we talked about their need to stand out, right? We talked about their need to stay top of mind for the client. We also talked about them needing to reach larger audiences while social distancing. That's important. And we gave you some tools and strategies that you can use to really help them, use live stream to be able to move forward in that. Okay. I'm a little distracted because I'm trying to look over here at the same time. Okay. Building credibility. We talked about building credibility by collaboration and high quality broadcast and being able to showcase what they're doing by keeping their brand promises, right? Like always keeping your brand promises, because credibility is really a matter of trust, right? And the other thing that they are going to need, we only have 3 things left. And I got back on literally so that you guys could like know these things, because I think it's important for us to go all the way through it. Your client needs to know these. They're thinking about these things. It's something that you need to know so that you can consult your client about bettering their growth for 2021. So the next thing that they're looking at is, how do I grow my marketable audience? How do I grow a marketable audience? And what I mean by that, hang on, you guys. I'm really trying to fix my. This is the exact thing that I'm talking to you about. Like when you're trying, this is why your clients need you, because they want to focus on being the host and not doing the producing at the same time, which I'm doing right now. I'm producing myself for this particular show, and I probably shouldn't have. But anyways, all right. I'm gonna try this really quick. Hello, 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 hello. Nope, that's still not working for us. Okay. All right. Well, this is where we're at. So how do they grow their marketable audience? Now, their marketable audience is essentially like their list. Okay. You guys have heard of the list. I know you've heard of the list, but the list, they say the money is in the list and all of these different things. And it's true in that, like, you want to make sure that you, like, when you're going live and you're doing all of these broadcasts, you want to give the viewer a way to go deeper into the broadcast. So that means you need to start growing your marketable list, meaning you need to have emails and phone numbers, a way to really get in contact with the people that you want to you want to sell your products and services to, right? And again, you're providing through this live stream a consistent way for adding value to them and answering their questions they have about your service or about the industry itself. And then you're inviting them to kind of go deeper into that and learn about how what you're doing, your product, your service, your solution is helping them to grow their platform. Okay. So that's really, really important for you guys to know about. All right. Gully says, I love Restream. Yes, so do I. And I'm glad you guys are back. Slight audio hesitation. Yeah, I saw that. And that's why we kind of switched it up here. So hopefully is that better for you guys? Can you let me know in the comment section? Is it smoother at least? I know the color is just a little bit different, but we're going to work with it. Okay. So how do they grow their marketable audience? And they're going to be asking you these questions. I'm giving you the cheat sheet. This is how you're going to respond. Okay. The first thing that you want to tell them is that they need to create a irresistible gift incentive. Like, what is a gift incentive? A gift incentive is something that you're gifting them in exchange for their contact information, right? So you're giving them a gift, mostly downloadable, right? Like a checklist or maybe a how to, like, I don't know, like whatever, like something digital that's like, I like a checklist just because like people ask me a lot, Kimberly, what equipment should I get? So we have an equipment checklist, which is like one of our frequently asked questions, and it answers a frequently asked question and it gives it to them for free in exchange for their information. Okay. And what that does is that helps you to build your list. And this is something that you want to encourage your clients to do as well, because they're trying to grow their following. They're trying to grow their marketing list, their marketable list. And so this is how you do that. You create an irresistible gift offer or gift incentive that and most times that was going to be something that the people in your industry are always asking about, right? So frequently go to your frequently asked questions in your industry. If you're a real estate agent, if you are a chef, like what are questions that people ask you a lot about? Or if you're teaching people how to do what you do, like just say, remote producing, then you want to have a list out there that is showing people like, equipment list or whatever, something that's valuable to them that they will gladly give in exchange, a no-brainer for their information. Okay. And that will help you grow your marketable list. So once you get their information, you're like, hey, it looks like you were interested in this one thing. Here's some information about how to go deeper into that conversation. So you're starting a two-way conversation with the client. Again, this is for remote producers who need to understand, like, how does broadcast even work for the client? It's important for you to understand that, because when you know how it works for them, you can speak to the value of that thing. Does that make sense, you guys? Are you still with me? If you're still with me, in the comment section, say, hey, Kimberly, I'm still with you. Yes, so it really depends on the content, Harry. So, and let's see. All right. Okay, so let's kind of continue on here. And then the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand is that if you're working with business owners like you, it's very rare that we actually have a client who is working, just doing a show just for entertainment purposes. They, maybe want to grow their social media platform, but most of them have a business that they're associating with the show. They want to they use the show as a means to provide consistent value for the client or to answer consistent questions so that they put themselves in the way of being an expert in that field. So they're saying like, hey, if you have questions about this, here's some answers to those questions. And here is a service. It's usually attached to a service that they provide or a product that they want to sell. And they're using live stream to really kind of help them move that thing forward, right? So they want to sell products directly online. That's another thing that they're thinking about for 2021 is how am I going to use live stream to help me sell more of my products and services online? And so some of the things that you can do in the way of consultation for a client who is looking to sell things online is, for one, make sure that you have an online platform where people can make a purchasing decision about your product or service. Like, have a place for them to purchase your product. Now, that can be a web page. That can look like, even just a video with a link to the product or something. Like, you need to have a place for them to make a purchasing decision so that you can actually sell your product. You'd be surprised how many people want to sell a product, but they have no place for a person to make a purchasing decision about the product. How does that happen? I don't know. But it's our job to really consult the client and make sure that they have all their ducks in a row so that they can get more of what they want. Make sense? All right. So, here we go. So the other thing that you want to do in advice, like, obviously make sure you have a platform in order to, so that you can sell your products, but also create a broadcast page. Like, this is really crucial. Like, if you're doing events, if you're doing virtual events, one of the things that you need to do is have a broadcast page that has more than just the broadcast on it. You should be able to, like, we create a broadcast page this is for like events. Okay. So most times if you're doing a summit, a conference, or, something like that, then you want to have a place, like a virtual venue of sorts, where the person can go to really, to watch the broadcast, but also make a purchasing decision about maybe something that they're offering that day. So that broadcast page has online offers on it. Now, we don't do e-commerce ourselves or anything like that, but usually what we'll have on the page is like the broadcast itself going live, and so the people can watch from this URL. They'll go to whatever summit.com or whatever, and they'll be able to watch the broadcast on that broadcast page. But below that, or on the side of that, there are offers and maybe like the sponsor links and things like that. We actually did a whole episode on this, so if you're wondering about how to use a broadcast page to help your clients monetize more of their products and services, make sure you go back to that episode and check that out, about how we create that page and what things need to be on it. But essentially, that broadcast page tells the client that you're thinking more about just the broadcast. That they need that broadcast to help them to highlight special offers or highlight sponsors or things like that within the process of what you're creating. Okay. Now, so make sure you go back to that episode, guys, on the broadcast page. I see you in the comment section talking about that. Hey, Henry, what's going on from Colombia? Welcome to the broadcast. Okay, so the other thing, guys, and this is the last thing, obviously, like, they're trying to sell their products. If they're selling their products directly online, first thing is to say, have a place for them to make a purchasing decision online. Second thing, make sure you can create a broadcast page where people can make a decision online, right? Or that links to that offer, that product, or whatever. And the third thing you want to do is take advantage of, like, Facebook Live actually has a new feature called like Shop. It's like Facebook Live Shop, where you can actually embed the products and things like that for people to purchase in the social media platform of like Facebook. And so these are really cool things that you want to stay up to date on, because when they know you're up to date, they're going to feel more confident about like not having to do all the research themselves. Does that make sense? So where you can incorporate some things like that for them, or even include links like in the description of their broadcast to help them sell their products, that's going to be huge for the client. They're going to get really excited about that. Okay. The other thing is they want, maybe they don't want to sell a product directly online, but most of them, if you're working with a business, they have like their objectives. Some of it might be just brand recognition. Some of it might be visibility. We want to, help grow our social media platform or grow our social media influence. But if they're trying to sell products, they need to have a website or a web page or some place that people can make a purchasing decision. If they don't, for whatever reason, have a website or have, a place where people can make a purchasing decision, but they may want to schedule sales conversations, meaning that they are wanting to highlight as their call to action phone numbers, or a webinar, like an evergreen webinar, or maybe a live event that they want to invite people to, and they're using this broadcast as a way to promote that sales conversation, right? To like move them deeper into like, hey, this is how we can help you. This is what we can do. This is how we're adding value to you. So in the event that they're maybe not trying to sell something directly through the broadcast and they really want to create more sales conversations, some of the things that you need to be consulting your client about is to let them know that they need to create, for one, some sort of auto scheduler. You can use Calendly. I know there's other calendars out there, like digital calendars, where that will be the link that you put inside of the broadcast to say, hey, if you want to know, if you want to talk to one of our producers, we do this a lot. If you want to talk to one of our producers, hit the link and schedule a call, with one of the producers or myself or whatever, right? You guys can actually get a hold of me. And so you want to consult your client the same way. So they're saying to you as a remote producer, our company is really looking for creating more sales conversations. How do we do that? You'll tell them, hey, first thing you want to do is make sure that you have some sort of direct, like digital appointment setting platform where people can click the link from the broadcast and schedule an appointment with you or whomever it is that they need to talk to, the team, right? The second thing that you can do is to advise them to create a short link of that link. So like if you have a link to your Calendly, I'm going to use Calendly for lack of whatever, but use Calendly and they provide a little link and that's the link that you're using. You should want to shorten that link because sometimes it can be really long. It can be like Calendly right? But maybe you don't want it to be that long. And so you'll shorten it, use like Bitly or something like that to shorten the link. And then you'll post that and pin it in the comments. So this is, again, the client's asking you. So you're telling them, hey, one of the things that we want to do to increase more sales conversation for your business is that we're going to create, we're going to have you create an auto scheduler to schedule appointments. And we're going to pin that in the comments area of the broadcast so that people are watching, they're able to consult and make schedule an appointment with you after the broadcast is over, because people get inspired during the broadcast and it's important that you catch them while they're inspired to make another move, right? And you want to encourage them to create a call to action during that time that they're inspired. So this is why this is so important. And this is the questions that they're thinking about and they're asking you. And I want to make sure that you're equipped and prepared to answer these questions and really give some good feedback about how what you're doing is valuable to them. Are you with me? In the comment section, if you're with me, you guys, let me know. Kimberly, I'm still with you. The last thing that you want to do in the event that you're, creating those links and things like that to schedule more conversations, make sure you post that everywhere. Like make sure it's in the post for the video, make sure they put that on their website. If that's the go-to place where people are most likely making an appointment, then you want to make sure that they have that available on multiple different platforms. And you'll just tell them like, hey, we're going to put this in the video, but I also want to encourage you, like on your website, make sure that this is something that a person can make these appointments on it. You want to make it easy for the people to make appointment. So you'll put it everywhere, like on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook profile, personal or business. Like just make sure that you create even a link inside of your Facebook page. All of these different things will help them to grow because they're being strategic about how they're doing it. And they're being strategic about how they're doing it because you are helping them, because you are their producer and you care about the things that they care about, right? Which is obviously kind of some of their bottom line. So if you're just joining us, I'm just going to go do a really, really brief recap on all of the things that we talked about so far. The first thing that they need is to stand out. You're going to help them do that by producing high quality broadcasts for them. You're also going to do that by encouraging them, using custom graphics for them, motion graphics and things like that. And you're going to help them do that by making sure that the content that they're creating is very organized, create segments within the show that help people to feel good about like how you're delivering the content, that it's thought through. The second thing that they're going to need is a way to stay top of mind. And one of the things that you're going to encourage your client to do is to show up consistently, show up and create content that answers the questions that people already have about their product or service. And then obviously to make sure they broadcast to YouTube, because YouTube is one of the biggest search engines for people to find out how to do anything online right now. So you want to make sure that the content that they're creating, even in the titles that they are creating content titles that people are searching for within Google or within YouTube. So make sure they're broadcasting to YouTube, and also use TubeBuddy. That was my little gift to you guys. Use TubeBuddy to really help you elevate that and maximize that further faster. Okay. You guys can Google TubeBuddy there. They also need to reach a larger audience while social distancing. One of the ways that you help them do that as a remote producer is that you're encouraging them to create broadcast events. So on Facebook or on Eventbrite, you can create an event, a virtual event, and then you invite people and require them to RSVP by email, right? And that helps them grow their marketable list as well. But it also helps them to keep track of, who was interested and who may be interested in moving further into their products and services like that. You want to send those invites by email, text list, Facebook ads. Like I'm going to have a guest on to talk about Facebook ads. I'm going to have another guest on to talk about sponsorships. Like these are things that you need to know, because your client's thinking about these things. Like that's how they want to leverage it. But most of them don't know how that works. And if you don't know how that works, then you can't speak to the value of what you're doing. And that's why this show is so important. So again, guys, like make sure that you hit the notifications button. Make sure that if you've found this content helpful, make sure that you hit the thumbs up for me and hit the notifications button wherever you're watching us from. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on, wherever you're watching us from, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and notifications bar so you never miss another episode of Remote Producer Live. It's all I have for you today. In the comment section, if you have any questions, I will take a moment to go ahead and answer some of those questions. Which platform? That is still my question. Which platform? What do you mean, Harry? You're going to have to explain a little bit more on which platform. API. All right. All right. Awesome, guys. You've begun to understand the importance of having a co-host. That's a whole episode that we can have about, because, if the thing about content creation is that it can be a demanding thing, if you consistently are creating something, like having a co-host, that's a really good idea. And so maybe we'll talk all about that. But guys, you are blowing up the content, the chat area, and I'm not able to get to everybody. I'm going to go out offline and try to answer some of your questions as well there. But I do want to thank you so much for being a part of today's broadcast. I hope that if nothing else, this broadcast helped you to really get into the mind of your client so that you know how you're going to market to clients and how you're really going to help them grow their business this year, guys. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you. Hold on. I always say this, but then it takes forever for me to actually get it up and going. But I'll Sorry, that was the wrong one.